Yes, yo, and you don't stop. Big John, rocking the short shot. Welcome back. Call to the Pen HQ. Fastest show in MLB, absolutely anywhere. Mr. Cooper on the ones and twos. Our boy, best producer in the game. Pretty damn good ad reader, too, if I might say so myself. We'll get to that in a little bit. Who am I? I'm your host, the girl that means sugar. It's the big man with the big mouth for the Big Apple, Big Johnny Stud. Coming to you worldwide from Brooklyn. As always, coming out the chair as always. Grab the spear, grab the shield. Welcome to betting's version of 300, where we give to the books nothing and take from them everything. BGC, Crip Zombie, my people, mi gente, Brian E, mi gente, my people, one of us. Nuance and context pouring out the nose when you rock with J&J. Call to the Pen HQ, redheaded stepchild of the Hammer Betting Network. Gotta love Rob Pizzola. My man is the best. Football show is pretty fun, too. All right, let's get down into it. It is Division Series time. We botched the first one, right, because Houston went ham. We really slammed the second one. Jay was waiting for that DM. What did he say? We get it on the dong, baby, with Seager. We get it on the dong. I hopped on VSiN with Gil Alexander. It's always really cool, right? We're kind of making our way. You know, I know VSiN's on all the time, but I've been getting a 10:15, 10:30 spot East Coast. That's the drive time show over there. Really cool spot, really cool opportunity. Drop the Texas team total, 4.5. Yeah! Drop the Corey Seager total base prop. Yeah! Fire Sports, what's up? Yeah! Looking really sharp. Somebody up there looking out for the Call to the Pen crew. All right, let's get into the three games. You know me. I got some granular pitching stuff. So far, it's kind of mattered. All I could talk about yesterday was Houston. I was going on and on about Jordan Alvarez. And then the guy just kind of left it. Sounds, I should have followed through. All right, I think we have some hitting opportunities today. First up, the Braves are underdogs. Oh, my goodness. Can you believe it? Fire Sports needs a Braves win today. They all do. Holding an absurdly large Astros and Braves World Series ticket. Well, I think if the Braves get through this series, they're going to the dance, at least. But you gotta be worried if you're the Braves. How could you not be worried? Luckily for them, they pulled out that late win, or they could easily be down, backs against the wall. Braves underdogs on the road in fighting Philadelphia, the Broad Street Bullies. Aaron Nola on the bump, minus 120, slight favorite. I think, things are bad when, you're the Braves, right, the number one seed. You're in your third playoff game, 1, 2, 3 playoff games, and didn't play a series already. And they don't know who's starting, and that's a major problem for the Braves, something we identified on the previous shows. If you're not looking at impact starting pitching and the depth, Strider's depth, just the ish, man. No joke, obviously. Anybody could lose on a given day. He did. Also hadn't been great down the stretch. And now look, luckily Fried went out there. He got touched also. And now you got to turn to Bryce Elder. We've been covering him all season and really getting paid on him down the stretch. He was one of our major negative regression candidates. His ERA is still down at 3.8, whip at 1.3, 7.05. That's how we wrapped the season. But the expected ERA at 4.5, Sierra closer to 5. And we mentioned that negative regression slammed him in the second half. His last 68 and 2/3, 5.11 ERA, 1.4 whip, +5 Sierra, single-digit KBB, single-digit swinging strike. In-zone contact rate over 91.5. Keep that in mind. Not what you want to be doing up against the Phillies. The lefty-righty split ended up being pretty good. Though remember, Woba has output stuff. And again, heavy, front-back split. First 17 games, a 2.45 ERA. Last 14 games, a 5.5 ERA. The sinker and the fastball, this is the problem here. Right? This is what we were talking about the entire time. Between the sinker and the fastball, you're talking about 60% of the arsenal. So a majority of the arsenal, the reason that matters is that allows hitters and hitting coaches to direct a plan around it. You can wait on it. At least, That's a hope, but hope that the off-speed stuff is not landing for strikes. Doesn't matter. You're not going to swing at it regardless. Forcing them in the zone and then looking to capitalize. 60% use to a minimum 470 X slug and only 16% whiff rate. The contact quality, awful. Not nearly enough swing and misses. Up against a Philly in the second half versus righties, were top 5 in homers, isolated slugging. Harper, Turner, and Schwarber, right? The engines of the offense, the front of the lineup, all the plus 920 OPS down the stretch. Obviously, all three of those guys are excellent. Yeah, you go, complain about Schwarber's Ks in the playoffs. Doesn't matter. Playoffs all about home runs. And that stat kind of speaks for itself. I wish I had it on me. It's out there somewhere. Win-loss record of the team that hits more home runs. I know it sounds stupid. Obviously, home runs are runs. But it's really lopsided. Makes a lot of sense. Mistakes get hammered. The rest of the pitching is generally really good. Schwarber versus that sinker and fastball combo, right, that they're going to be waiting on. Schwarber, 18 barrel, 390 ex-Woba, 19 home runs. Castellanos, 12 barrel, 405 ex-Woba, 8 home runs. Bryce Harper, 15 barrel, 431 expected Woba. Holy moly. Only 4 home runs. Harper had trouble getting the ball out when he first came back. Then less of a problem. The front of that, these Phillies are a handful. They're a handful, especially if you're a guy like Elder, you're going to pitch a contact. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. So I think first things first, Jay pricing. We like Nola. We'd rather not face the Braves offense, even though Nola's been good. So how about that team total? Phillies team total would be the first thing I want to look at. The idea of people being, let's try and lop off as many variables as we can, especially when it comes to the Braves offense. I know they've been great in a 2-game sample, but if you're into subjective stuff, shouldn't a game-winning playoff home run get the whole world going? It's provocative. Get some people going. At 4.5, I think we got to do it, Jay. We'll see. You know what? You really read my mind, people. We're using betstamp.app when I can remember. I'll pass it off to Jay this time. Hopefully smoothly. We're going to do it once before the year's over. And here's the thing. Okay, Betstamp is great because they use a lot of books. These are live lines. Please, use the live click-throughs. The thing, though, with these kind of prop menus, sometimes books that don't always update so fresh are on there. Sometimes you end up with some incorrect, disproportionate pricing, whatever it may be, rogue books or whatever. Maybe not everyone has access to. Jay and I said in the very beginning of the year, we were going to kind of make it our mission to cater to, we were calling it the commuter crowd, right? The regular people that work, heading home, that don't have access to the 9:30 lines that we do. Yes, we always want to smash good lines. But Jay and I are trying to take the closing line. We're trying to beat the closing line. That's what we're doing. Taking the hardest test. But you got to also know the characteristics of the book. When we're talking about Pinnacle in particular is the sharpest book. So this is one time we're going to take the better price at plus 100. So we're getting even money for the Phillies to drop 5. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Braves bullpen hasn't been great either. So this is a total smash for me. I like it even better than the run line, which I do think we're going to get, but why tempt the Braves offense? I mean, it doesn't matter who's pitching. Braves offense can go off no matter what. Nola, brilliant in the first start of the playoffs. Went 7, gave up 0, 3 hits, 3 Ks, 1 walk. Remember, he's 2 runs better at home. We picked up on that. That's why we were on the Phils that game. 3.3 ERA at home with a 2.72 WOBA. Those are phenomenal. The off-speed stuff is very good. The curve, the change, and the cutter. Plus 30% whiff. Now those games against Atlanta, he faced the Bravos 3 times. Okay, he was at Atlanta, went 6, gave up 5. Yikes, struck out 7, gave up 2. Home, went 6, gave up none. At home, struck out 5, gave up 2. Back in Atlanta, went 6, gave up 2, not bad. Struck out 8, walked none. So Nola, better, more good than bad. Always pretty good at home. So you gotta like Philly, you gotta like the Philly run line. But again, given the plus 100 on the team total, you always think you need, especially when it comes to a run line, right? Combining different bets. We mentioned yesterday, Jay, using the book as a tool. So I'm curious now of the price for the run line. It might even be positive money. It might even be a better line than the 5. But you gotta, to cover the Braves and not get 5, you gotta keep them at 3 or less, man. That's a tall order. You'd probably be better off betting on an alt under for the Braves under 3. You see how like the books in their broad, kind of robust nature now allow us to maximize outcomes, right? Correlate bets that make sense together. I'm looking at plus 165. That's actually not too bad. They kind of called my bluff there. Oh wait, I just got totally confused. Are the books mixed here? We got like some flip-flop price. I see Phillies. I'm sorry, everybody. This also happens when you're, again, it kind of leads into the lesson I was saying before. Different prices, you want to know what you're looking at. If you only look at one book, that's the price. If you look at 3 books and they have 3 different prices, you got to start thinking. I'm seeing, the plus run line in the Phillies with big negative money. I don't even know how that could be. That feels like a smash. I mean, if you're a juice payer. But then I'm seeing the flip side, the cover plus 160. I like that bet also. If you were going to dial it down, I don't think we need to. I like the 5 runs. Because again, I'd rather bet over Philly team total 4.5 and then alt under. I don't think we have access to that, Jay, right? If we have access to Braves alt under 3 at a smidge, those two make the same kind of combination. Anyway. Atlanta offense, again, very good. We know they can hit anybody. The center of that offense is phenomenal. Acuna, Olsen, and Azuña all had a 1,000 OPS in the second half against righties. I mean, just ridiculous stuff. We know their offense is just so sick. Right on the season, number 1 in OBP, number 1 in OPS, number 1 in barrel rate and team WOBA. Second half, number 1 in runs, homers, average, OBP, OPS. Just is so sick. Totally sprint proof. Killing lefties, killing righties. Braves best right-hand hitting team in the league. Again, I'd much rather have the Nola in the Phillies offense than Elder in any offense. I really don't care. Plus, I think I like the Phillies bullpen a little bit better. They get more, love from the starters that go deeper. I'm actually kind of curious what the Elder outprop is. We were mentioning yesterday how these outprops have been kind of neutered. Coming in really, really low. But if his was up, you can go under it. Man, Elder is at 11.5 out. I just can't see going under 11.5. Like, you have to assume. I mean, we could get our team total and have him go over. Like, that's not enough. But again, just to show with fewer games how you can kind of use the very same analysis to try and think through other plays. While we get the bet stamp up, Jay, get ready to do your thing, man. Because we just showed them all what it's all about. People remember pricing, directionality of the market. Jay, clean up the rest, whatever I forgot.
Yeah, I got you, John, here. The easiest way to improve as a sports bettor is to always get the best odds. And we find the easiest way to always get the best odds is to have multiple sports books and to use an odds comparison tool like BetStamp. BetStamp compares odds across every sports book, including games, player props, and futures. Save time and money by downloading the app today. If you're looking to sign up for more sports books, make sure you head over to betstamp.app/call to the pen. If you sign up through that page, it helps support the show. Now back to John.
Grazie mille, my friend. Excellent job as always. Guess who got the button? I did it myself. My kid is being potty trained right now. He's so excited. I feel like it's so funny. The things we get excited about. Anyway, you'll understand when you're older, people. If you do ever have kids, it is the best thing ever. Oh my God, best thing I've ever done. It is the best thing ever, but it's almost like betting, right? Betting is the best thing ever. Betting is the best thing ever. But you got to do it right, because done improperly, It's great. Fury. What is it? Damn. And furious anger. Yeah, I forgot the beginning. How can I forget it? You know what that means? Time to rewatch Pulp Fiction. Anyway, let's get back into the games. If you're enjoying the show, being part of the Phalanx here at 300 at Baseball's version of Sparta, please rate, review, and subscribe. Stuff matters more than it should as we chug-a-lug our way through October. And then it'll be, sayonara. C'est la vie. What am I going to do? I might just get up and start talking to myself. All right, next up, Houston Astros plus 108 dog on the road in the Twin Cities, minus 125 to the Twins and Joe Ryan. This one is yuck, man. I don't like either side of this. Man, a lot of runs scored yesterday. But I think I'd be going back to the well. What's the game total? I don't want to bury the lead on this one. I'm smelling elephants. Okay, flat 8. Yeah, I like that. This one I think is going to close at 8.5. Again, I mentioned before we popped on directionality. This is a really good example of that. What I mean, BetStamp is showing you 12 different books. This opened at 8. That information is also on the site. I just know that. 3 of them are now at 8.5. The wind is starting to blow that way. Big Johnny's telling you to lean towards the over. These are going to close at 8.5. Right, again, why are we 300? We're not huge. There are shows that do orders of magnitude more viewers than we do. But I truly believe at the same time, we have the same reverse ratio of information and impactful info and diverse, compartmentalization of it. We're doing heavy analysis, but we're also playing the board, learning how to use the board in accordance with proper risk management, and then maybe we laugh, which is come on. Okay, pack your bags. We're heading to Bristol, baby. All right, come on, back into the game. So we're going to go, let's go over the 8. Urquidy could start 10-game start on the year, only 2 quality starts. Has not seen the 7th inning once. Did not strike out 8 batters a single time. Gave up 2 home runs in 40% of his games started. Uh-oh. The sweeper and the change, pretty good whiff rates, over 35, but he's really struggled against righties. That's not good when you face the Twinkies. The fastball is very bad, 93 miles an hour. Then remember, we go usage, X-whip, X-slug, and whiff rate. Deployment, contact quality, swing and miss ability. 38 uses, very high. For 590 X-slug, only 19 whiff. Those numbers against righties get jacked up. 328 expected batting average, 622 expected slug. Not good. Not good. Splitter, sweeper, slider have a minimum 400 X slug. He's getting hit hard across the arsenal of Minnesota offense versus righties in the second half. Top 5, OBP, OPS, isolated slugging, WOBA, and home runs versus that right-handed fastball year to date. They're going to be sitting on it. Edouard Julien, Carlos Correa, Royce Lewis, Wallner, Polanco, and Kepler. Only 2/3 of the lineup have a better than 15% barrel rate against 4-seamers. They're all going to be sitting on it. We've mentioned Minnesota through the playoffs. Fantastic fastball hitting team. If you cannot land the off-speed stuff for strikes and induce those whiffs, he's got a puncher's chance. Urquidy, puncher's chance. The sweeper and the change with the whiff rates, that's what he's going to have to live on. But he's going to have to throttle the fastball and not miss because they're killing it. Kepler, Wallner, and Lewis with a better than 1,000 OPS from September on. Minimum 40 plate appearances against righties. In that span, Royce Lewis with a 414 isolated slugging. That's a 41% extra base hit rate. Bring up that total base prop. Follow me, will you, buddy? So we want the Royce Lewis one. Of course, yesterday I had my toilet parlay. I allowed myself a few dollars a day to act like an idiot on a separate account. Also, I think it actually keeps you from getting limited on DK, believe it or not. I really do. I think because it's so minus EV. It was an 8-player hit parlay. Of course, I had 7 of 8. The gamblers, it's whatever. I deserve it. This is a guy with you. I had 7 hits in the first 3 innings. The last guy, it was Hayes in the Orioles. It was actually the Orioles game. But anyway, big plus money. We want all of that, right? Total bases. Let's do the darn thing. Plus 145 on Royce Lewis. We're going to be, top third. We're going to get a couple licks at Urquidy. I think we get it done early. On the other side, Joe Ryan, big time WOBA splits here. Right, much better at home than on the road. 284 home WOBA, 348 on the road. Then big time splits lefty righty, 280 to lefties, 348 to righties. I generally look at that stuff, right? The underpinning. I'm curious to see if it bore out in the stats. Yeah, it did. Joe Ryan, 269 batting average for righties with an 830 OPS, 2.4 homer 9. But again, much better at home, 660 OPS. So the splits are in Ryan's favor. Stug says thoughts on Harris, Harper, Turner. Definitely, we mentioned Harper and Turner. All Harper and Turner. Total bases, hit props. Man, I'm worried. I don't know if I want to go Harris. I don't know if I want to touch the Braves. Noah's, listen, he's awesome. He's in his bag, baby. You know what I mean? He's at home. Not to ever kill the Braves offense. I know we're saying it's hard to keep them below 3. It is. Jack, I would say these same things. The players that we're looking for are the overs. We want the Phillies, Schwarber, Casty, Turner. Then we want Royce Lewis, Wallner on the Twins. Stick with the Twins. We're going to do a couple Astros and the heart of the Phillies. I think that's your best. I think that's your best bet, right? Harper, right? Harper, Casty, and Turner, Schwarbs, like that whole front end, and then almost all the Twins. Almost all the Twins, because I don't know if they have like hits or bases and stuff. All that usually parlaying that stuff. Yeah, I would. Again, you want to correlate for these games going in our direction, Jack. So thank you for participating. Welcome to the Phalanx, yo. Okay, back to Joe Ryan. 29 games started, gave up 4 runs or more 11 times. Finished really, really poorly. Last 3 games went 5, gave up 4, went 6, gave up 3, went 5, gave up 6. That's 13 earned runs in 16 innings, 2 games versus the Stros. In Houston, went 6, gave up 4, but he struck out 10, only walked 1. At Houston, went 4, gave up 5. They've been eating this guy's lunch. Why? It's the fastball. Comes in at 92 miles an hour, which is not great. We mentioned on the other show when we thought Ryan might start, the reason he's able to succeed with a fastball that's not particularly great is he's got the really low vertical release point. That is a big help. It's not enough of a help when I believe if you throw too much and hitters see it. 57% use, extremely high. 379 X-log, not terrible. 29 whiff rate is excellent for a four-seamer. Let's make no mistakes. However, but, big shaken butt like garden hose, baby and Lil Wayne butt. 19 homers, 34 extra base hits, man. Oh my God. Getting walloped. Houston offense versus righty second half. Top 3 OBP, OPS, WOBA, WRC+. And they have a couple of mashers, right? You got all those guys that are going to be sitting fastball. That's a thing. Tucker, 14 barrel, 450 ex-WOBA, 9 homers. Jordan Alvarez, 23 barrel, 447 expected WOBA, 7 home runs. And the big one here. Okay, so this is the back end of Jack's question, right? These are the guys you want. Tucker, Jordan Alvarez, and then Chas McCormick. How about that? So I actually have a couple of ideas here. Jay, maybe you want to put like $1 on all 3 total base props if they're plus money? Maybe we could parlay hit props for the 3 of them as well. Okay, you have my blessing for that, right? If you wanna turn down the wager, we go so like 4 $1 bets, right? 1 on each of the total bases. That's, let me just refresh. Kyle Tucker, Jordan Alvarez, Chas McCormick is the third one. Chas McCormick, 20% barrel, 465 expected WOBA, 11 home runs on the fastball. This guy's a fastball crusher. He's been excellent. That's been the key to success. Thank you for finding the even money on that prop. We always want even money. People, do your best to avoid it. I saw 145. Is Tucker 145, McCormick 145. Oh, great job bringing that up again. Really kind of surprising Tucker and McCormick coming in at the same price, but so be it. I love all the money. The pricing is what I mean. Now, Jay, hit those. You know what? Yeah, you know what? You go for 2. I go 2 for each. It's cool. Then you want to put 1 on a base hit prop. Even if they're 1.5, whatever it is, whatever the standard line is, just put $1 on the base hit props. Because we want this one to go over. We're already on the over as well. And I think we can move it on from there. I'm going to move on to the next one. I mean, the bullpen stuff, it's weird because they're giving teams days off. That was the National League, right? Oh my God, screw me. Hold on, everybody. Sorry. Atlanta was days off. Houston, they played and pitched, but it wasn't. Presley didn't go. That was the stuff that we're really looking for, is who went. So Abreu threw 12. Like Hunter Brown threw 22 pitches, which I was kind of surprised. I guess all hands on deck, you do what you got to do. But bottom line is the Astros saved Presley, they saved Maurice and Stanek. So at least two of the three big guns are there waiting. Texas pitched Leclerc. I'm sorry. Minnesota pitched Pagan and Jax, but Jax only threw 9 pitches. They saved Duran and Varland. Brock Stewart. Haven't seen Maeda yet either in that kind of deep relief role. Although I'm actually not sure if I made the playoff roster. I'm sorry. The playoff info is really hard to get. And if you don't mind, like 1,000 places, you don't get it. So bullpen stuff is really hard to predict. Again, by all intents and purposes, the Arizona bullpen was not very good. They've been excellent. Pitchers get hot like anyone else. I tend to like to look at the larger picture. But the bottom line is this. Nothing is predictive enough to predict playoff baseball because the sample is so small. But in case you're wondering, down the stretch from September, Houston 2.9 ERA with a 119 whip in the bullpen. Twinkies 3.53.17. Both really strong, right? Because that's going to account for blow-ups, whips at 1.2 or below, homer per 9 at 1.2 or below. All the stuff you're going to look for, zone contact 82% and below. So I know that doesn't really look great for our overs. I just think we're going to get it early. Out of curiosity, Jay, just entertain me. I wonder if I stepped on this rake. What was the F5 over? Just out of curiosity. Oh, okay. Books are kind of on the same thing. It's at 5 and 5.5. Okay, I actually feel very good about the 8 now that it's a 5.5 at 5. So Jay, thank you so much for thank you for being my friend. That stuff matters, man, in the big scheme of things. All right, let's do the last one. Again, just not to bury the lead. Dodgers and Diamondbacks. You got to bring up the over on this one. This feels like all over the day. Like, very rarely do playoff games open like at a full game 9. This one feels like it could be 9.5. Jay, bring up that when you get a chance. Because now I'm really quite curious to the total on that side. You know what's funny? I saw another prop that I would want to hit also. It's actually 9.5, which is a little brutal. Let's get into the analysis. You got Lance Lynn, minus 144, favorite on the road in the desert against the Snakes with shapes on their back. And Brandon Pfaadt for the Baby Snakes. Lance Lynn on the bump for the Trolley Dodgers. And I've been part of the trashing. I was like, trash him as you will. And I've been like leading the charge. Lance Lynn, 5.70 ERA, 1.4 whip, 8.13 OPS on the season. Those are all pretty terrible. 4.8 expected ERA, but a 4.3 Sierra, a lot better than the composite stuff. 24K to 8 walk it's Jag, just a guy, but not terrible. 36 ball is but not terrible. 32 O swing, 82 zone contact, but not terrible. The misses have gotten barreled and turned into home runs. 10% barrel, 2 homer 9 is not any good, but a 3.22 xWOBA is really not bad if you're in the grand scheme. He's really struggled against lefties and struggled on the road, and I think that's the big one. Of course, I'm a Stenada, and I wrote down Lance's home starts in LA, which had been really good, and I think the opposite is true on the road. I think he's been terrible at it again. We were kind of leaning towards the over in the first place. Again, Lynn, I don't know if it's over the hill or the ball change has just killed, whatever movement profile for the fastballs that he throws too often. But now I got LA. This is on the road with the Dodgers. Went 6, gave up 1, went 6, gave up 3, got destroyed by the Marlins, gave up 8 through 4, and then Giants 6-2. I don't know. Do you use road stats when a pitcher changes teams? These are not answers I necessarily have the answer to, but I know he struggled down the stretch second half brutal. Again, 5.3 ERA with a 1.5 whip, single-digit KBB, 25 CSW, just not what you expect from Lynn. The big story here, again, is the Diamondback offense. Excuse me, I already stepped on the rake. Again, trying to be Mr. Big Sample. responsible analytically. Blew up in my face. Arizona has gone bananas in the playoffs. I'm just looking at it. It's just crazy. I mean, this is crazy. They have 5 players with 4 hits, 6 players with a double. 3 players have multiple home runs. 3 other players have home runs. 4 players have 4 ribbies or more. Just kind of crazy stuff. I mean, more than half of the starting lineup has an 800 OPS through the playoffs, 820 or better. And there's a few of them really topping out. Corbin Carroll just out of his mind right now. 7 for 14, 2 homers and a double, 4 ribbies, 6 runs scored and a steal. That's a 500 average and a 1632 OPS. I mean, there's a chance they just like the Diamondbacks have mauled Clayton Kershaw. Jumped on Bobby Miller. Lynn, I don't know, man. 92 mile an hour fastball, 43 use, 500 X slug, 31 whiff. So he gets a swing and miss, but he gets it hard when he misses. The whole fastball bin. That's what I'm worried about, right? The 4-seamer, the cutter, and the sinker. 78 use altogether, minimum 450 X slug. It's given up. These numbers are correct. 37 home runs and 60 extra base hits. Hachi Machi Liberace is correct, man. Hard not to like the over in this one. I guess maybe we got to go with the over 9.5, Jay. Do me just a solid. I'm curious how this is broken up a little. It's not like we don't want a piece of the Dodger offense, but they are objectively, struggling, I guess, right? In the 2-game set, that it means nothing. So give me the 2 of them. Because, all right, Jay, this is a perfect example of what I was talking about. Arizona, I was going to say if we could get a flat 4, which is available at Caesars. Pinnacle's at 4.5, probably letting you know this is going to go to 4.5. If we can get the flat 4, I prefer and this is another way how we read books, Jay. This is right up your alley, Home Slice. If you can get a flat 4 from Arizona in a game with the Dodgers as a team total 9.5, meaning you need 10 to win. Giants are at 6. You'd be better off taking the 2 team totals here. But especially let's get the Arizona side of this. And then you say in the Dodgers you get at 5, which is really kind of funny now that you could, I guess somebody would say, oh, whatever. People just like to bet for all or nothing. But you could kind of bet both of these overs, hit them both, and have the game total not get hit. And I think that's kind of crazy, right? I guess technically you can't hit them both, but you could push them and not hit, but it's still kind of wacky. I don't know. We could pump the brakes in the Dodgers. That one's up to you, Jay. Let me run through the rest of it. We'll see if you like. Maybe we want to do like a hit parlay or a Dodger total base stuff. Yeah, maybe get up the total bases for the really good Dodgers. All right, Fott went 2 1/3, 7 hits, 3 earned, 4 Ks and a walk and a homer. First playoff start, 5 ERA at home and away. Minimum 530 X slug and 360 WOBA with both lefties and righties. So there's really no answer for him. There is no escape. The fastball coming in at 94, 45 use to a 550 X slug, 17 whiff, which is not any good. 13 home runs, 25 extra base hits. Again, not very good for the limited sample. Sweeper and the change both get whiffs. So that's extremely similar to Jose Urquidy, right? They both sweeper and change, both get whiffs, both going to be deploying a really bad fastball too often of the time. The changeup, though, gets destroyed, 600 X slug. So if he hits bottom zone, it's a swing and a miss. If he hangs it, it's going into the seats. Dodgers, have only scored 4 runs through 2 games. That's partly why I like the Arizona side of this. Though now that I'm thinking about it, I almost like it both. Stug, we can get to in a minute. Walker, Martinez, total base double. Yeah, I think you're sniffing around. It. Hold on. I'll circle back for names for the Diamondbacks in a second. Let's just wrap up the Dodgers because I actually have it here. First righties in the second half Dodger team. Offense, top 3 in average. OBP, OPS, WOBA, and WRC+. I mean, obviously, we know this. But it's Freeman, Betts, Muncy, and J.D. Martinez. Those are the names you want to be looking at. 13% barrel, 11 home runs minimum versus that right-handed fastball. They're all going to be sitting fastball. So it's Freeman, Betts, Muncy, J.D. I mean, what do you think, Jay? Who's got the best prices? We want whatever combination of the best prices we can get our slimy little hands on. I'd even go $1 on all 4 of them, hoping to get 2, which would be a profit. Are you down with that? Are they all plus money, I guess, is my first one. So that's the Dodger side. Sometimes Betts is like minus 130. I don't want to go there. They all going to be minus 110 or better, or we're going to skip it. It's Betts, Freeman, Muncy, and JD. So, right, we're going to look total bases. Yeah, hit it. Mookie's at minus 110, minus 105. That's a smash. Freddie Freeman. Okay, Max Muncy, fine. Next, plus money. Go get that. Love that stuff. You know, again, that's another way to think about these plays. We're trying to appeal to the regular novice bettor. I get it. It's people, it's betting $1. People that maybe are, struggling. Maybe people that have a small business. Maybe people are just learning how to bet and want to learn how to sustain. Shut up. Doesn't matter how much people bet. It matters what kind of percentage they return. Okay, so Jay's still running through a JD Martinez. Also, I'm seeing plus 120. We like all those. We can get all of them for $1. There's a chance this one, again, just goes to the absolute moon. And, again, thinking in terms of sustainability, where I was going to before I upset myself in a tangent is, rather than if you had $5 or $4, rather than betting $4 on one, the one you have to pick, you got to find your favorite one. Put one on each. Well, first of all, you can hit all of them. Second of all, again, like I said, you hit two because they're even positive money. You hit two, it's a profitable venture. And then you move on from there. I like to compartmentalize these betting ventures. Again, we have to balance the idea of thinking long term, right? Not beating ourselves up in the short term. But I think the best way to do that is look to maximize every day individually and stack those small wins. Again, small tip for everybody, feather in the cap, incoming, please rate, review, and subscribe. You don't learn this shit anywhere. Just stop it. I'm so sick. Right, it's at the point like only the real people are still here. You're into the show 35 minutes in October at this point. People are hanging Halloween decorations, and us crazy degenerates are betting on baseball still. I mean, this is really kind of special stuff. 4 potential outcomes anytime you enter a risk venture, right? Only 4. The big win, the little win, the big loss, the little loss. I promise you. Eliminate the big loss. Eliminate the big loss from the, portfolio. Possibility of outcomes. Remember, you control that. You never have to bet big. And you will end up being in the black if you're smart. Roll with us. So I like all the Dodgers. While I was rambling and raving like a lunatic, I should have been bringing up the Arizona stuff. I know some of it is so freaking juicy. They close so strong. I mean, you got to be looking at Carroll for sure. I think you got to be looking at Kettle Marte. You mentioned Christian Walker. He's looked pretty good. Also, Tommy Pham. I think those would be the guys to be looking at, Stug. Right, Walker, Pham, Carroll Marte. Keep it in the front. Keep it with the guys that are feeling it. This is, again, that's battling the sample stuff that we've been doing all year is the reason why I kind of pump the brakes in the playoffs. Because you have to kind of get out of character. Again, why my dude Frank Amarante is just murdering the playoffs. Make sure you're following him on Twitter at Game Day. Well, he's with Game Day MLB. He's mauling the playoffs. Because that's his style. There's nothing wrong with that. That's his style. He's going to challenge the market. I'm not buying BS. Jay, before we get out of here, I noticed one prop when I was flipping through the Elder stuff that we gotta get. So I'm going to bring everybody back to the end, and then we'll scan through one more time. It is juiced to the absolute balls today. Oh, man, I really hate paying this kind of juice. But it's Aaron Nola out props. It's a 14.5. Again, running theme for the playoffs has been these out props coming in extremely low. If you looked at me and just said 180, who cares about minus 180? That's not juice. Bet it immediately. I struggled to bet those straight. But man, Jay, how do we not? Let's bring up the Nola game log. 32 starts. All right, there were a handful. Okay, maybe that's what the book was seeing. Down the stretch, there were a handful of games that he didn't finish in the beginning of September, 3 in a row, actually. But man, he gone five innings. Nola's like a 6 or better guy. I don't know. You want to go with to win 2? I don't know. You want to go to win 2? You want to go to win 1? Not because that just feels like, sometimes, Jay, you and I have to have the conversation we're talking about juice. And where I know I have drawn up that line around 130, 130, 140, where I generally go. But that's not like a hard, fast rule. That is certainly not, a disqualifier for profiting. Certainly not. I just found with the volume that baseball affords you, I don't feel like I needed to add those. Because when they go sour, you need to win a lot more than that to win it back. But man, even at 180, I gotta like that. Really, I don't let it go 5. I mean, if he gives up 4 runs, I think he's going 5. I think he's going 5. Phillies roll. They roll with their guy. They're gonna roll with him. I don't know. So to me, that's wheels up for Nola. I think he's been excellent. Braves are good. I get it, but like 5 innings. I mean, he faced the Braves 3 times. He went 6 innings all 3 times. Forget 14 and a half out. So that'll be the last one. Jay, bring up the bets for everybody, and we'll get out of here right at that 40-minute mark where we should be. Enjoyed it, everybody. So much fun bringing you this. We say death taxes, sunrise in the east, and me up before the crack of dawn to bring you the show. No joke. Hand mining all these split statistics and pitch granular information because it really means that much to us. If you are one of the few, one of the proud, part of the phalanx, helping to defend Sparta, at this point of the year, I want to show you what it means to me. And Jay and I want to show you what it means to us. We're not taking our foot off the gas, even though I have football work to do. Jay's not taking his foot off the gas, even though I'm sure he's like doing the watch thing right now. Come on, Big Mouth. Let's go. Well, we're out of here right now. I love you, man. I can't believe. I wonder if Rob fully prepared you for what he's been getting you into. When you hang with us at Call to the Pen, HQ, rate, review, and subscribe. One last time, people, stick your cartoon finger inside us because that shit matters more than it should. All right? Thank you for picking up what we're putting down. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the day. When we done with the book, enjoy the pay. And remember, when you work this hard, there's a lot less like luck, yo. See you tomorrow. Peace.